So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. This is PBL Group H1-5. This is Wahida. Oh no, not again. I got names wrong again. This is Aisha. This is Nuraini. This is Wahida. This is Shaza. This is Kuratul. This is Holly. This is Aina. This is Adam. This is Azrael. And this is your presenter for tonight, Abraham Chor. So we went to Santubong. So ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, I would like to give you a slight introduction of what we were doing running around Santubong National Park. No, ladies and gentlemen, we weren't just dipping in the river for fun. We conducted research on Pteridophytes. So before we begin, Pteridophytes are vascular plants that have leaves, roots, and sometimes true stems. They do not have seeds or flowers, but they reproduce via spores. So, ferns are part of the division of Pteridophytes. So, our objective was to observe and document the species of Pteridophytes in Santubong National Park. So, we hiked up and down Santubong National Park, and using our smartphones, we took photos of all the Pteridophytes that we could find. So we trekked all the way past the loop trail, which had several really nice waterfalls. And to cut a long story short, we found 6 species of ferns. So let's begin our discussion. And our results, obviously. So the first fern that we are coming across is Antherium Felix femina, also known as the lady fern. It lives in dense lush forests and thickets, hills and meadows and ravines in America, Europe, and Asia. Malaysia is just one habitat, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very proudly international fern. It grows up to 2 to 3 feet tall in a thick circular shuttlecock clump. Every pinna is divided into lanceolate pinnals. This is a pinna and this is a pinnule. I'm not sure if you can see it very clearly on the photo, ladies and gentlemen, but this is the maximum zoom that PowerPoint can get to. So let's move on to the next species, Asplenium nidus, also known as the bird's nest fern, featuring extremely large distinctive leaves and a very defined center. So it's native to several tropical areas in Southeast Asia, Australia, and Madagascar. And it has extremely bright green fronds. You can't see it from here because this was shot on a Samsung A50, which does not have very good color accuracy. But this is a very brightly green fern, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to our third fern, Arachnoides simplicior, also known as the Japanese fern. It grows in a forest or woodland boundary, and it enjoys shades, which means that it has to have something that protects it from constant sunlight. It's an evergreen fern with hard, glossy fronds, almost as if they were metal and painted. It's very fun to stroke it gently with your fingers, just like this. And it has a very distinctive yellow stripe running down the middle of each of its fronds. Unfortunately, you cannot see the yellow stripe in these photos. Moving on to the fourth fern, ladies and gentlemen, which is Adiantium hispidilum, also known as the maidenhair fern. This is a fairly small fern which has a lot of tiny pesky hairs along its main stalk. Its fronds have a very disturbing gritty texture that has fan-shaped pinnacles, and it often is found outdoors. The fifth fern, ladies and gentlemen, is Septridium multifidum, the smallest and cutest fern that you can find in our collection, Also known as the leathery grape fern, this is again an international fern. You can find it in America, you can find it in Malaysia. We are proud to have this fern on our country. And so it has contractile roots and very special broad leaves. It also has unique grape-like sporangia clusters. Unfortunately, you cannot see them in this video. Moving on to our final fern, not Final Fantasy unfortunately, the Dicranopterus linearis, also known as the rasam. Extremely common, you can find this along the roadside, and it has forked fronds which are extremely thick. It has very prominent sporangium along the bottom of the lobes of the ultimate two divisions. You can see lots and lots of tiny dots, which are the sporangia. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the whole of our poster. Moving on to our conclusion. We found these 6 species of ferns, and each species plays their own role towards the to adapt with the environment. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say thank you so much to the Center for Pre-University Studies in University Malaysia Sarawak and the Sarawak Forestry Department for cooperating and giving us the permission to do our study at Santubong National Park. So ladies and gentlemen, these are all of our references. If you would like to have a look, I'm going to zoom in right here and I'm going to say thank you so much for watching and stay safe, wash your hands. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. What are pteridophytes? Oh my goodness, that was not supposed to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, a pteridophyte is... a pteridophyte